All right, y'all. Today we're looking at this boudoir photography business. We're going to see if it's local search or if it's city search has BSS. Also see if it's hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. Nice. And yeah, we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographers in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. If you want more info on that, check out pinned post, pinned video, home video, whatever. And this channel, this profile all the way over on the left, BSS, focusing on the highest intent people. Is people searching for boudoir photographer city or like they want a boudoir photographer, boudoir shoot now. And they're searching this on social and on Google. Our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, is all the way on the right. That's for boudoir right now for boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ad. You have to, on ads, boudoir Facebook ads. So you have to go check out our other profiles for that. But getting back to BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Basically, we're not being seen because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So we don't care about those 20% that do, because they're going to page 10, clicking every link, getting a price quote from everyone. We care about the 80% that, approximately 80% that never go past page 1. And so if we got 0 slots, well, we're invisible. They ain't never buying from us because we're on page 2. If we got 1 slot, we look the same as everyone else, so we're essentially invisible again, even though we are on page 1 of Google. There's nothing drawing them to us instead of everyone else, so they're probably gonna click, down through every single link, get a price quote from everyone, talk to everyone, blah blah blah. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is actually not normal. That means something is seriously broken. A boudoir photography business should always have a minimum of 3. So we talk about our GBC minimum of 3 here. 3 out of 10 on page 1 of Google for our local, local town, small town, small city, small part of the city. And we gotta shoot to get 3 out of 10, GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 at the city level as well, like Cincinnati or Miami. Because at that point, we can basically guarantee we're not disappearing. We may not be growing, but we can essentially guarantee we're not disappearing, not declining. And the 2 deeper root causes of actually having 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google are MS, market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the big killer, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, that's when more and more boudoir photographers entering the market every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. It seems like whenever anyone gets a new iPhone, they are throwing up their Google My Business profile, say they offer boudoir photo shoots now, or anytime anyone gets a new camera, people are posting them on groups saying, yeah, I do boudoir shoots now. And they're getting ranked, the stuff, their websites, their Facebook profiles, it's all getting ranked. Page 1 of Google kind of shuffling everyone around, pushing long-standing people who were there off page 1. But here comes the real killer, the false belief of page 1 inequality. So from what I've seen, the false belief of page 1 inequality or page 1 equality has been the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. It's basically believing that page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality is when we believe, it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Maybe we're like, oh yeah, I used to have 1 link on page 1, but a lot more boudoir photographers came in, and yeah, I got kicked off. I'm on page 2 now, but that's fine. That's normal. No, that is not normal. The norm is to have 3 or more links on page 1 of Google. This is the norm for the boudoir photographers that eventually become and want to become and can eventually become the #1 boudoir photographers in their city. So it's accepted as normal. but it means something's fundamentally broken because we're believing, oh yeah, that's simply how it is. No, it's not. I've gotten to 9 out of 10 links on page 1 in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 in 10 days. More on that in a little bit. Now, Boudoir photographer with BSS, Boudoir search sameness, so having 0 or 1 links on page 1 of Google, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Basically, if we disappear off page 1 of Google, or if we're on page 1 with only 1 link, or essentially invisible as well, then we've essentially been disappeared as a boudoir photographer, which means our boudoir photography business will disappear soon enough after that. So we're building our universe. We can see declining boudoir photographer, or a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1 equality, the false belief of page 1 equality. So do we have a solution? Yes, we do. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology. We've been developing, testing the last 7 months, bringing it to market now. And this is literally the only thing that I've ever seen that is able to successfully fight against market saturation. So imagine we got 1 million boudoir photographers each with a website, ranking for boudoir, in Cincinnati, whatever. And we're in Cincinnati as well. If we can take S-cubed methodology to the max, and we can probably do it if we got enough time, take it to the max, and we rank for, the first 300 search results on Google. That's the first 30 pages, 10 pages, 10 organic slots per page, which only comes as a result of us ranking for the first 30 pages across Facebook search, Instagram search, YouTube search, and TikTok search. And basically, anyone, anywhere in Cincinnati searches for, boudoir photographer Cincinnati, we're essentially the only one they can find. And even if there's 1 million boudoir photographers, if we got all the first page links, our business will probably be growing every day, every week, every month, every year, and all those other ones will eventually disappear. Well, I mean, we've already disappeared them with all of our content, but then eventually go out of business. And so, again, this is the only thing I've ever seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. That can happen in under a month. Obviously, brand building would be the other thing, but that takes years. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, so instead of having 0 or 1 slots on page 1, we have way more. We have more than that. We now have page 1 visibility, so we look different. We prefer to get to the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 links on page 1, because basically everyone else will have 1, and we'll actually really look different because they'll see our name. Scrolling down, they'll see our name literally 3 times. And probably by the 3rd time, they'll click on us, be like, all right, these guys seem different. Google keeps recommending them. There must be some reason why. Now, the other bonus is every new link we get on page 1 is we're kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible to the approximately 80% of Google searchers who never go past page 1. Literally, they're page 1 or bust. These are the people that we're focusing on, getting in front of. So we got page 1 visibility, and page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, so people are actually seeing us because we show up way more on page 1 of Google. Like, we're actually entering their brain, entering their eyeballs, entering their brain. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Cool, we will attack that, solve that with our S-cubed methodology. Achieve page 1 visibility and become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results, actually use an S-cubed methodology on myself. This is for the term BLCS boudoir. And okay, we got an AI overview. We got the Google 3 map pack. Now we'll hit the organic results. So you got organic slot 1, me. Then we got slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6, slot 7, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, slot 8, and we got slot 10 way down there at the bottom. Slot 9 is someone else. But in 10 days, I was able to completely take this over. So if people are searching this, literally 10 days, I was at 0 out of 10. I got to 9 out of 10 for this term BLCS Boudoir. And so if people are searching BLCS Boudoir, who are they coming to? They literally have, what they got? They got, at organic search, they got 2 options, me or the person in number 9, way down at the bottom. So they're probably gonna be coming to me. And so moving on to our main event here, we're gonna check this boudoir photography business, see if it's got BSS for local and city search, even if it's in its GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 page 1 slots. So let's go. All right, I'm going to Virginia Beach. All right, that's fine. So let's check this out. Virginia Beach. Boom, we got 1. And boom, we got 2. Okay. All right, so we got 2 out of 10 for local. So we do not have BSS, but we did not hit the GBC recommend minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. Page 1 on Google. All right, now we're going to go to our city search, Norfolk, Virginia. All right, so let's check this out. So let's see. See if we got any here. No fires. We're at 0 out of 10. And yeah, city's always harder to rank for than local. So we're at 2 out of 10. Page 1, Google for local. So we don't have BSS for local. We do have BSS for city. But for both of them, we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google for either of them. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, you went and did the local search for yourself and the city, or local search for the highest intent buyer keywords and the city search for the highest intent buyer keywords, and you had BSS for one or both, or you did not meet the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 for either one or both of those searches. And you now realize page 1 on quality was kind of automatically accepted before, but now you realize it's a false belief. Now you realize, wow, we truly can take as many page 1 slots on Google as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you understand market saturation with how, basically people get new iPhones, throw up their Google My Business profile and their website, and they shoot boudoir. So get new gear, increase the number of boudoir photographers over time. It's always increasing, and you're actually thinking ahead. You're seeing AI. You accept it's okay. It's probably going to start steal more people's jobs. So what we're actually going to need to do is it's going to force a bunch of boudoir photographers to come into the marketplace that were not boudoir photographers before, but they have, everyone's got a camera on their phone. And so you want to fortify your position ahead of AI taking everyone's jobs. And I don't know, could that double the amount of boudoir photographers in the market? No idea. But you want to fortify your position before then. You kind of want to get more slots on page 1 before that happens to kick out current competitors, and get even more slots on page 1 to fortify your position against the coming influx of new boudoir photographers that will inevitably be coming into the marketplace. So more sellers for the same number of buyers as AI takes more and more people's jobs. And so you want to fortify you want to kick out the current competitors, fortify your position against future competitors. And you also want the your CNS cubed methodology is the only solution that you can see that allows you to do that as a boudoir photographer. And you actually want kind of the extra back-end benefits from this as well, which is every day we execute XCubed methodology successfully. We're actually building these thematic keyword columns that are plugged, kind of like spokes, that are plugged into our main brand across our social channels, across the internet, our website, our brand name, our social handle name. And as we do more and more of that every day, it actually increases the probability we get recommended an AI overview, this premium spot placement up at the top above everything. And many times, it's literally only recommending one studio at a time, based off of thematic keyword relevance, authority, things like that, and frequency. And also every day we execute methodology correctly. So it's building up that momentum in the background for AI overview and also standard AI search and all the different AI search platforms. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Every day we successfully execute methodology, build up those thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, kind of like spokes on a wheel. We're increasing the probability AI recommends us in search into the future. Kind of increasing that probability every single day we successfully execute. And you also see that kind of the earlier you jump on this, the more distance you put, kind of the more momentum is built, kind of more fortification, kind of fortifying the levees like New Orleans against the ocean because it's below sea level, and building momentum for back-end AI search, AI overview recommendations forever into the future. Well, for every day that S-cubed methodology is successfully executed against all current and future competitors who are not running S-cubed methodology. Because my current plan is to only run it with one boudoir photographer per city. And so if I were to work with a competitor and that happened, instead you would have to rederive and refigure out and retest S-cubed methodology to figure it out for yourself. And you would never really know if you actually derived it correctly. But even so, you'd have to then go execute it on your own, which you'd have less confidence in, because again, you would not have known if you've actually derived it correctly. And you'd have to equal our output of me working with your competitor to maintain our gap where we're already ahead. You'd have to actually double or triple our output to actually close the gap and overtake us, kind of suck away that thematic keyword kind of momentum, back into momentum for AI search engines to steal it away from us. So you realize, screw that. It's better to simply be, the first mover on this, kind of kick out current competitors from page one, actually increase, 4 to 5 year position against future competitors as AI takes people's jobs, force them to become boudoir photographers. And so you're saying S-cubed methodology is the best path for you because you want, page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, achieve boudoir search visibility, because you need that on your way to become #1 boudoir photographer in your city. So if that's you, shoot me a DM when I open up for new patient intake. My DMs are closed right now, slots are currently closed. And when you do open up, or when I do open it up, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify for using S-cubed methodology.